Welcome back to the Soft Living Podcast. I'm your host, Kathleen, and I'm so glad you've joined me for the third and final episode of our 3-part series on Living Authentically. If you haven't listened to the previous episodes, I encourage you to start with episode 11, where we explored what it truly means to be your authentic self, and episode 12, where we dove into the in-between space, where your old self dissolves and your new self begins to emerge. Listening to those first will give you a fuller understanding of this journey. Today, we're stepping fully into who you are, embracing your authentic self in life, work, relationships, and how you show up in the world, and exploring how to maintain alignment while navigating old patterns, self-doubt, and the natural push and pull of transformation. Stepping fully into your authentic self is powerful, and it takes courage. Knowing what you want is only part of the journey. The real challenge comes when you allow yourself to be seen in your new truth. You can shift how you make choices, change habits, and embrace your desires internally. But stepping into visibility, showing the world who you are, is where transformation becomes real. This can feel vulnerable, even risky. You risk not being understood or accepted, or fitting neatly into the expectations of others. And yet, it is also the place where freedom begins. Hiding may feel safe. It allows us to stay small, unchallenged, unjudged, but hiding disconnects us from our own lives. It keeps our work, relationships, and even our own experience of ourselves incomplete. The courage to be seen and to show up in familiar spaces or around people who know the old you is part of this process. It's intimidating, yes, but the more you embrace this, the more your authentic energy radiates, inviting others to align with their truth as well. There is something incredibly bold about allowing yourself to be seen in a new way. It can feel exposed at first, like you're standing without the armor of who you used to be, but it's also deeply liberating. Maybe it looks like sharing an opinion in a meeting or around a group of people when you would have stayed quiet before, or wearing something that feels more like you instead of what feels expected, or saying, actually, that doesn't work for me, instead of over-explaining or people-pleasing. So often, we think the world is holding us back, but many times, we're the ones keeping ourselves small because the familiar version of us feels safer. There's comfort in what we've always known, even if it doesn't fully fit anymore. We are often more committed to a discomfort we recognize than to a new possibility we've never experienced. And yet, when you let yourself be seen, truly seen, there is a freedom that rushes in. It feels lighter, it feels honest, it feels like exhaling. And this doesn't happen overnight. You don't arrive at authenticity and stay there forever. This is a gradual unfolding. As you grow and evolve, you learn new truths about yourself. You outgrow old stories, you soften into new preferences. It's really ongoing. Not a destination, but a relationship with yourself that deepens over time. For me personally, I've always been drawn to observing patterns and environments, noticing how people interact, how spaces feel, and what resonates in different moments. These experiences have shaped what I value, how I communicate, and the choices I make. This awareness allows me to live with more alignment and confidence while still leaving space for growth. And as I embody my truth, everything else, the energy, opportunities, and connections naturally aligns around it. Even in the in-between moments, when old patterns resurface or uncertainty arises, remember, this push and pull is normal. Something that came to mind when reflecting on this topic is nature. I love how it blooms and grows naturally without force. So this analogy reminded me of becoming. Think of it like a tree growing its branches towards sunlight. Some branches stretch confidently, while others take a bit longer. And yet, the tree as a whole is continually moving forward to its natural alignment. That friction, that stretch, is exactly what allows growth. And being your authentic self comes most naturally here. You may be asking, how can I support this alignment and be more cognizant of the growth process? First, it's important to notice your energy. Start small. Notice how your body responds in everyday moments. After spending time with someone, do you feel energized and grounded, or depleted and tense? When you say yes to something, does your chest feel open or does your body contract and feel tight? Energy doesn't lie. Alignment often feels calm and steady, not rushed. Misalignment can feel like pressure, urgency, or subtle resentment. The more you observe without judgment, the more attuned you become. This awareness builds slowly. It's not about getting it perfect, it's about becoming more conscious over time. Next, follow your desires. And this is such a beautiful and fun journey to be on, and something that I touched upon in an earlier episode. So I encourage you to go back and re-listen to that one as we dive a little bit deeper into that topic. Desire doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it's a quiet nudge. Maybe you feel drawn to take a class, shift your routine, speak more honestly in your relationship, or rest instead of pushing through. Following your desires might look like choosing a slower morning instead of waking up to scroll, or exploring a creative idea or business venture even if it doesn't make sense yet. Desire is often a breadcrumb, not a full roadmap. You don't need the entire plan, just the next aligned step. And this is where patience matters. We often want to reach a certain version of ourselves quickly, more confident, more aligned, more certain. But alignment isn't about tightness or speed. It's about flow. It's about experiencing your life fully instead of rushing toward a future version of you. Over time, as you soften the urgency, life begins to feel more spacious and relaxed. Something else to consider is to embody your choices. Alignment deepens when your actions reflect what you know internally. This might mean setting a boundary kindly but clearly, declining something without over-explaining, showing up consistently in a way that reflects your values. It can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if others are used to a different version of you. You may even pause and ask, is this story about who I am still true? Or is it simply familiar? That question alone can shift everything. Next, it's so important to practice self-compassion. Old patterns resurfacing does not mean you failed, it means you're human. Growth is not linear. There will be moments where you default to what feels known because familiarity feels safe. We often cling more tightly to a discomfort we recognize than to a possibility we've never experienced before. When that happens, notice it, acknowledge it, and return it gently, not with shame, but with curiosity. Next, step into visibility courageously. Visibility might look like sharing your real thoughts in conversation, posting something that feels meaningful instead of polished, choosing honesty over approval. The first few times it may feel vulnerable, but eventually something shifts. The more you show up as you are, the less energy you spend performing, and that reclaimed energy becomes confidence. Before we close this series, I want to say thank you. Thank you for listening, thank you for reflecting with me, and thank you for allowing this to be a space where we can explore growth in a slower, more intentional way. Creating this 3-part series has been so meaningful for me. I've loved being able to deep dive into this one theme, to unpack it and to reflect more personally and to share parts of my own process with you. There's something really powerful about not rushing a conversation, but allowing it to unfold over time. Across these episodes, we've explored understanding and stepping into your authentic self, navigating the in-between where transformation unfolds, and lastly, stepping fully into your authentic self, having the courage to be seen and embodying who you truly are, embodying your truth and maintaining alignment. And I'm curious, are you someone who enjoys a series like this? Do you like going deeper into one topic across multiple episodes? I truly love to know, because if this resonated, I would be happy to create more series where we can explore something thoughtfully and fully instead of just scratching the surface. This podcast is a two-way conversation. If something in the series stood out to you or sparked a question or felt especially timely in your life, I'd love for you to share that with me. You can leave a comment, send a message, or reach out directly. And if there's a topic you'd love me to explore next, please let me know. Your reflections shape the space more than you know. And of course, if you've been enjoying the Soft Living podcast, it would mean so much if you followed along on Apple or Spotify, rated the show, or shared it with someone who might need this reminder. Every follow, every review, every message helps this space grow and reach the right people. Thank you for being here and thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next episode.